Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Welcome to our first book chat in front of the new bookshelf. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that video of me just showing you how I put everything together. And this is the first book chat, but of course I've already done like a haul, so because they're in order. Now we are doing our July book chat, and I know this is happening a little later in the month, but I did have some other videos that I wanted to get out, so I hope you guys don't mind. But let's get into what I read in the month of July. We have 6 books that I completed, and we're going to start with this one, and it's called That Night in the Library, and it's by Eva Jezierski. So when I saw this one was on Goodreads, so if you're new, I don't check Goodreads for books. I don't read it for reviews or like ratings, anything like that. I do put my books in Goodreads just so I can keep track of them. So of course, sometimes I can see, like a rating or something like that, but I don't read the reviews. This one had like a rating of 2 something. And I was like, I don't understand why. I understand why. This book had so much freaking potential, but when I tell you this book got to the end and I was like, wait a second. You mean to tell me all that was pointless? Like, what did I miss? Like, it was so bad. I understand. Because, when you read this book, the beginning is kind of slow. It's basically about these kids who are at this college and they're graduating and they're going to be performing like this ritual that kids do when they're about to graduate in the library or whatever. So all these people, certain people have been recruited. They're there and, people keep getting taken out. The thing is, we're trying to figure out who did it and why. And when we get to the end of the story, I was just like, this is why you got a 2 point something on Goodreads. Because literally, and people said this, that's what you gave me, so I do not recommend this book. Like I said, I was so interested. I was like, why is this happening? Oh my gosh, what's going on? Da, 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 da. And then they give you the what? And you're just like, you got to be kidding me. Like, did I really go through all that for that to be the end? So the book, up until the end, is good. And there's really things are happening throughout the book that is true. And at the end is where we're kind of breaking down clues and who did what, whatever. But like I said, it just did not deliver. And I don't recommend you read that one. I'm going to say no to that. Now, of course, some of these I've already talked about because I did it in a reading vlog. But Richard Osman's We Solve Murders, I finally read it, and y'all, it was good. So I love Richard Osman. He writes the Thursday Murder Club Mysteries, and this is a different book. I do believe this will be a series because of how it ended, and I love it. So you have a girl and her father-in-law, actually, they basically become this mystery-solving trio because insert a famous actor, actress or whatever, and then we'll even say they're like a quad because throw in her husband, the father-in-law's son. So basically this woman, her name is Amy, and Amy works for a bodyguard protection company, and people who are clients start getting taken out basically, and they're trying to figure out why and who's doing it. So you have your usual suspects, the ex-partner, the current owner, people who work for the company, all of this. And basically, we go on this journey with Amy to find Amy, her father-in-law, the actress who, she's not an actress. I'm sorry. She's a writer. But I think she also does movies too. But she is a writer. And the son-in-law, and they're on this with the help of their some of the father-in-law's friends who are so cute. They're on this journey to figure out who is doing the crime. So that's what this is about. I really enjoy it. You fly all over the world for them. They actually end up in South Carolina, so hey, shout out to that. You fly all over with them. It is a fun book. It is a good mystery, and if you want something light, I highly recommend this or the Thursday Murder Club Mysteries because I love those. This one, The Seafarer's Secret by Carol Ann Collins. This one is set in Eden, North Carolina. It's about this sheriff of this local small seaside town. Basically, a woman is murdered, and this murder reopens the case of his wife's death. And him and one of his wife's friends, someone who has made this area her home, basically get tangled out because people are whispering, like, are they together? You know, did they do this? You know, the sheriff kind of has like a clout, and he's a younger guy. I thought they were older when I first got this book, but they're like in their 30s. You know, people are thinking, were they together? Did they do this? And I love the book. You got small town gossip, and then there's the aha moment where the past collides with the present, and it was a really good mystery. I liked it a lot. And you have some romance in there. Like I said, I don't hate romance as long as it's in a thriller, mystery, or horror. And this one will give you that. None of these, the first book, language for sure. The second two, no language or no crazy harsh language or really, you know, negative scenes in either of those. Now, for this one, David Balducci, the winner. My friends actually gave me this book, and I was very afraid. I actually listened to this one on audiobook. So far, actually, that night at the library, I did on audio. I started reading it, and then I switched to audiobook. The audiobook was fine. This one was so good. I believe I talked about these in one of my reading vlogs, but this gave, back in the 90s, you know, when they did like those 3-part movie series, and it was like, first 2 hours on Monday, part 2 on Wednesday, or Monday, Wednesday, Friday, but you were like glued to your seat when your parents let you stay up. This is what this book gives me. I know David Balducci, or is that Baldassi? Baldassi, I think is how you say it. Has so many books. This man has been writing forever. This book was actually very good. Now, do I feel like this book could have been 200 pages shorter? Absolutely. But the twists and turns, the oh my gosh moments, why did you do that? This book was amazing. This book was about basically a small town girl, no money, has a kid, you know, the boyfriend's a bum. And it's her boyfriend. They weren't married, I don't believe. Small town. She basically gets a proposition. And the proposition is like, do they tell you that? I don't know. They don't even do like a synopsis, so I don't want to give you too much, but basically she gets this proposition that basically can change her whole life, right? And it does. But there's some things that take place prior to her deciding to move forward, and some things we know that she doesn't know about her moving forward with this, and how it completely changes her whole life. And the person who's like the bad guy, that dude was crazy. Because like literally something is going to happen and you're going to be like, what was the point? Because doing that caused them more problems. So you're really going to be like, but why? You couldn't just walk away. Like that plot twist. Like you won't see it coming. But I enjoy this one thoroughly. I did do this on audiobook. I love listening on audiobook. I did it on audiobook because I never read anything by this author, and somebody gave it to me, and we really don't have the same taste, you know? But so I was like, I don't know if it's gonna hit. And I actually told her yesterday, I was like, your book was actually real good. So I appreciate this. She gave it to me last year for my birthday. And that's crazy because it's July now. Well, it's August now. So last month. But she gave it to me last year in July for my birthday, and it was actually good. So I'm like, and I think now that I've had a feel for his books, I would read them. I don't feel like I would have to do an audiobook, but I was just like, I want to read the book because it was given to me. It's on my TBR, but I can't commit to reading it because what if I hate it? I would have liked it. It's definitely a book to read. The next one, This Girl's a Killer, is by Emma C. Wells. This one was actually really good. I was annoyed. The girl can be kind of annoying, but this book is hilarious. So this is about a girl, and we know this, that she is a killer, but she only kills bad people. But basically some things start to occur in her life that shifts the perfect plan she has. It's kind of crazy because the thing that happens is like, oh, I didn't see that coming. Okay, but it's a good book. I enjoyed it. I think it's cute. It's really a book I feel like really about friendship as well. But yeah, it's very, very cute. It does have language. They kind of hint to inappropriate, because like I said, the people she kills are bad people. So let's just say that. So there is some of those types of bad men. Does that give you more? There are some of those conversations, but for the most part, they're not detailed, because one thing I do love about this book, when she's going through and telling you the process, she actually says, and I can't remember if this was in the, is this in the intro? No, I think it's actually in the story, because I'm looking now and there is no, like, there are warnings, but okay, she does actually say this in kind of her content warning area. But one of the things I like, she says, is it is violent and she enjoys it, because she's talking about the character Cordelia Black. But she says, specifically, she kills predators, very bad men who've committed crimes against vulnerable people. While Cordelia's violence happens on page, so you do have that, and we read horrors, mysteries, and thrillers. We know we're going to hear some stuff. The actions of the men she kills does not. Their crimes are mentioned, but not discussed in details, and are absolutely not glorified in any way. So I think that's so cool, because the author's like, yeah, I'm going to tell you what they did, because I need you to know why they getting taken out. But what we're not going to do is sit here and, you know how they just go too far. Like, we didn't need to hear all that. We didn't. We get it. And I feel like sometimes that shock value is the thing. Like, I've talked to her on some other books, but she's like, no, we're not going to do that. We're going to tell you what they did real quick, but we're not going to talk about them, because they don't deserve glorification or their crimes. So I do like that one. And then the last one that I did was Society of Lies by Lauren Ling Brown. This book is about a biracial girl who is graduating, I want to say Princeton. Yes, I was right. From Princeton. And her sister is coming. They're black and I want to say Korean, but I know it's black and Asian, and I'm pretty sure it's Korean. She's coming because it's her sister's graduation, and then like she finds out, basically Maya finds out that her sister has died. Now, they have already lost their parents. Her sister, like, she's done a lot to really get her sister in a good place, and one of the things she told her sister was basically stay away from these eating clubs, these societies at Princeton, and of course kids do what they want to do, but her sister never explained why. So you're going through to figure out what happened to her, which unearths and uncovers and brings to the light a lot of things that happened in Maya's past. This one is a good book. There are twists in this one too. I'm gonna say there are twists, but I clocked it. Like, I was like, it's either this person or it's this person. But I clocked it. I thought it was another person, but I was wrong. So it is definitely good. It definitely keeps you on their toes. It does a little bit. It does. There's not a ton of action, but there's a lot of backstory that is interesting, but it does give a little low. But I enjoy it. I read it, and I would recommend it to someone who wants just like a good little thrill or mystery in their lives. So those are the 6 books I finished. Now I have something I've never shared, because I never do this, y'all. I DNF 2 books. I have gotten to the point where I'm like, I'm not reading something that I truly don't want to read just because I'm like, oh, I have the book, I bought the book, I should read the book, it's going to get better. Because I did that with a book, and if you watched that reading, well, I was so pissed because that book did not get better. And it was just that shock value for no reason. That was that book. So let me show you which 2 I DNF'd, and I'll tell you why. I don't know why I said that off screen, I'm sorry. But anyway, the first book I actually DNF'd in June. I just forgot to talk about it. And that is Silver Nitrate by Sylvia Moreno Garcia. Now, I've read another book by her, Mexican Gothic, which is like the Mexican version of Get Out. That's what they have like as a blurb. But I'm like, okay, I can see what y'all going with that. I like that one. It did have supernatural, and I can deal with supernatural to an extent. There is a moment where it goes too far, and I'm like, yeah, no. If I feel like I need to plead the blood, I'm not reading it. But this one, there were two things that I didn't want to. I was doing this one on audiobook, and I probably got through like 30% of this, and I still don't know what the book was about. Overall, it's about a director who is basically trying to get in the business, build their career back. But one, they had said like the word occult too many times. And it was also talking, like they kept bringing up like Nazi Germany. And I was just like, I'm gonna pause. Because at that point, I still was not invested. It was literally just noise. I didn't understand what was going on. Conversations were happening. Like, it never drew me in. And I was like, okay, it hasn't drawn me in. And we're really kind of hitting two topics that I'm really trying to go into. So I just stopped reading it. It might be good for someone. I'm just going to go ahead and like give it to like a free library or donate it. But yeah. The next one is Lisa Jackson and Nancy Bush, Something Wicked. Now, this is a part of a series. It's one of my Dollar Tree finds. This is the only Dollar Tree find that so far, I'm like, absolutely. Well, no, that's not true. I have one that I finished that I was like, I don't get the point. But this is the one that I DNF'd. And the reason I stopped reading, so I have read a book by Lisa Jackson that I got from the Dollar Tree that I liked. This is a collab, so it's the first one I read with Lisa Jackson and Nancy Bush. But the reason I stopped reading this one is because, okay, you don't have to have read book one because they do give you like a recap to where I didn't feel like I was super lost. Like, I feel like they're two disconnected stories. But, okay, it's about these people who basically live in this area called the Colony. It's in Oregon. And, like, some of these people kind of just live off on an island on their own. They have this power where the man, I think the women can do it too. So I'm just going to say their family has this power where they make people want to get it on with them, right? Okay, weird enough. Because the son, I can't even remember the name, but he was like taking people out and stuff, just ridiculous. Anyway, after he wanted to get it on with him. It's crazy. What made me stop reading the book, right? He was at his mama's house. And like I said, it's a family power. And she was doing the power thing, so he wanted to get it on with his mama. And he took her out because she wouldn't give in. Not because she didn't want to. Like, she would be willing, but she's just trying to torture him. I was like, yeah, pause. I was listening to an audiobook and I said, absolutely not. We are not doing the incest over here. So I had to stop this one. So I was like, no, I'm too old to be reading stuff that ain't it. So those are the two books that I was like, no, I'm not reading. So this one was the one. Yeah, this shelf is shaking, which is why nothing's on it. It has to be, you see that? Yeah, that one has to be bolted in so that it's not leaning. So that's why it has very little decor. But this one, yeah, I was reading this one in the month of July. So that one I had to stop. But these ones were good. So hopefully you enjoyed this. What did you read in July? What are you excited to read in August? I'm not even gonna lie. Because by the time y'all see this, and we're already like week 2 in August right now as I'm filming this, I don't have a TBR for this month. Kind of like what I did last month. I do still have books on my shelf, and I'm really trying to get through those. I think I have like, there might be like 9 of them on there. Actually not even 9, more like 8, because I'm actually not even 8. More like 7, because I'm actively reading 2 right now. So 7 unread of my old books, which is crazy because like I'm almost through all of those old books, and then I can focus on everything I've purchased this year. So that's really going to be my TBR for August. So I'm not going to do like a separate TBR video, but you are gonna get one for September, because we're gonna finish these books. If I get down to like just having like maybe 3 or 4, then I can move on and just bring them in to September. But yeah, that is this book chat. Hopefully you enjoy it. Y'all look at my Disney nails. They're Belle, Beauty and the Beast. Beauty and the Beast is literally like my favorite Disney movie. So yeah. Hopefully you all enjoy this. For those of you who are new here, my name is Sarah Sho'Shanna. Thanks for joining. Join the family. And for those of you who keep coming back, I appreciate you guys so much. See you in the next one.